Welcome to the Nameless Voices podcast. This is episode number 47. We are very close to hitting that big 5-0, and if my math is correct, that 5-0 will hit on the last episode of the year.
Oh, yeah.
How's that for some lineup?
Yeah. I don't know. It's the God's will, I say.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought today was episode 49. I was like,
Nope.
wait, how's it on
47.
When will we get to 69?
2 years from now.
That won't be until the depression arc of season 3 or 4, whatever we're on currently.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right,
we have to go on our...
let's get back on track here. My name's Nanashi. I'll be your host for the evening, and I apologize in advance for whatever this show is going to be. Joining me is a menagerie of personalities and card floppers. We have the TCG Slut AI Ignister.
It's really windy out here, and I gotta take stuff inside. Pain. That's not even a joke.
It was still funny. We have the Yugi memer himself, Connor Lockhart.
Hey,
Hey,
how you
Hey.
doing? Smelly
Doing good.
fuck faces.
I'm hungry.
he brings the Unga Bunga the Gaming. It's Kenny the Caveman.
I'm sorry, guys, for the ban list. Konami told me to make it fair and equal. I'm sorry.
Then you have
They
no
gave me
excuse for how
fire.
badly you fail.
They gave me fire. Why would say no to fire? It's awesome.
That's why Snake Eye is still alive, because
Yeah,
you're
well,
enamored by fire.
Need to ban more stuff.
We have the Wild Child
That's right.
sporting his new skin yet again. It's Lone.
Hey, my birthday's coming up in a few days.
Well, happy early birthday, man.
Happy birthday, dog.
We have our token salad player, Reborn.
Now with 20% more veganism.
Oh, that's about the accent.
We have our silent but deadly partner, Rom. Always up for the links
greatest.
despite the ban list. Fantastic to hear. We have our living shitpost, Raven.
Tip post, more like a depressed post after that list.
I'm sorry, Raven. I'm
It's
sorry.
fine.
Yeah, off guard
I
with
thought you were
that.
going to say...
No.
I mean, look
No,
at the
no,
guy.
fuck.
He's wearing the shitpost drip. He's drip post.
I know, but that caught me off guard.
Would that be a shit drip?
Kenny, fuck you. Unfires your fire.
No! I need it to make my food.
We have every card game player's worst nightmare by name, Tim Brick.
This Banlist is not brick. It just foundated nothing.
I love how every time you say anything, it looks like you're patting Raven on the back. Like you're trying to comfort him every time you say words.
Don't worry, Raven, you're not a meme.
No,
You
Raven.
think that's what I'm worried about?
I mean...
Losses does that
Probably.
too, and you're all laughing. You think this is fucking funny?
And we
I
have
think
our...
it's the whole circus.
And we have our walking, talking electronic cheese wedge, Zivith.
I like shoes.
Of
Sorry.
all
I
the
have the
things
hiccups
to
now, thanks to
say,
Raven.
that might be the
All
funniest.
right, fellas. Alright, fellas, you know what we have to do? We have to put a rock in his trick-or-treat bag this year.
We have to.
Charlie Brown style.
No. You know what we'll do worse than rocks?
What?
Oh,
We'll put a war rock deck into his stocking.
That's
Oh.
worse than...
You know what?
At least a rock has
You know
practical
what?
applications. You can't even throw a war rock deck. It does no damage.
You could.
yeah.
You could add fire to it. It might work. Hear me
That's
out.
true.
Hear-
It's the only flammable war rock in existence. On that note,
Penny's
though,
entire
Halloween... On that note, though, Halloween is around the corner, and it just reminded me of that one time a couple of years ago where someone started handing out Cornish game hens instead of actual candy for trick-or-treat.
Bro, that was
I'm
awesome.
sorry, what?
You don't know
Hold
that
on.
meme?
Hold up.
You go to that house.
What?
That house is gangster.
You really don't know that
what?
meme?
This was a
Not
meme?
to my knowledge. Well, it's
No,
more
it's
so.
real.
It's more so like I didn't. Yeah, it's more so like that I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, Somebody was handing out Cornish game hen for trick or treat. Adam Westell from Family Guy and everything.
TV's Adam West.
Okay, yeah, that explains it. I don't watch Family Guy personally.
Adam West was the best.
Yeah. May he
Being
rest in
attacked by
peace.
goose.
All right,
He
so
was one
let's
of
get
the
started.
greatest.
So let's get started. First off, how are you guys doing?
Great.
Pretty good. Part of a Yu-Gi-Oh
I'm just waiting
team
for
now.
lunch.
I have
Getting ready
several
for
emotions.
regionals. Getting ready to rock Tenpai.
You still able to
With
play that
what?
deck with only one of your field spell?
Hey, we can search it.
Well,
That's why it didn't hurt
well,
us. Didn't hurt him.
well, as another shit poster posted, you don't need 3 copies. You just play 1, set rotation, and then the Seal of Orichalcos to give to your opponent.
You might have made my wife extremely happy by saying that. I'm just letting you know right now.
Okay, I'm doing
Summon
that. I'm gonna tell
Seal of
everybody in the
Orichalcos.
crew, guys. Let's meet Tenpai. The meta deck.
Oh,
And hiccups.
See, no, I've had it worse this week. I've had to try having to fight uphill with against Gimmick Puppet with only with 4 tuners in hand.
and what are the tuners?
Overloop, Vision, and Red.
Dang.
What did one of them have an effect that cannot be destroyed by battle?
No, Vision searches, but I got OTK'd.
All
Monster
right.
cannot be destroyed by battle. It's pretty good against that deck, actually.
Surprisingly enough, it's one of the few instances Spirit Reaper actually matters.
Marshmallow.
Oh yeah, it burns. Okay, so let's get started. First off, I do need to mention that we are still being sponsored by BearClawsWorld.com. He has released his first official coloring book, Bear Claws Realms of Fantasy, available for purchase on Amazon for $20. It'll be in the notes if anybody's interested.
I'm interested.
So let's go through some quick random articles just to, get some stuff out of the way. First off, I know not a lot of us use Patreon, but I do because, some people actually want to support me. And Apple has apparently made a change to the way Patreon works. Apple is now forcing all new users who are signing up for Patreon subscription services to pay an extra 30% for using the iOS mobile app only.
What the hell?
Yeah,
Yeah,
to be clear,
that sounds
this
doo-doo
is-
garbage.
to be
Thank God
clear-
I'm not an Apple user.
To be clear,
Yeah,
this is not Apple. This is not Patreon doing this. This is Apple. Patreon is only complying because they don't have a choice. However, there is an easy way to get around this. All you have to do is not use the iOS app. Use the website, use an Android app, use literally anything else. And you will not have to deal
I
with
need
that
to look.
bullshit.
Don't use
That's
an
fair. I
Apple
need to look at my
device,
artists
that's
making the
easiest
non-safe for
thing.
work stuff. They make the
Wait,
best.
what? Wait, what? That
That's the
caught me
thing
off
people
guard
do.
again.
I think I
That's the
know
thing people
Nanashi
do.
knows a few of them. He knows a few of them. I know he does.
I
They
may or
make
may
good
not
art.
know. I may or may not know. I will
Mr.
never tell.
Peculiar is the best. Mr. Peculiar is
He's
the
not
best.
saying
I love his
no.
art.
I'm not saying no, but I'm not confirming yes.
Gosh dang it.
So,
I
on
only
the
laugh 'cause I'm
subject
like,
of skeevy internet personalities, let's get to Twitter, because apparently Twitter has been banned in Brazil.
it was.
Typical
Which is
Twitter
weird.
Well, you have to pay
it's
like
banned because
$1,500.
of lack of also, it's banned because of local representation. It's like, they need an office there, I think.
They need an office, they need a representative, and apparently Elon is trying to fix this. But it's not just them either. Apparently Rumble has blocked access to... I just lost my train of thought. Rumble has also blocked access to
Wow.
Brazil.
Again, I think it's just they're trying to get across the world, Because
They're
it's
trying
like, even though
to.
it's
What's the tournament?
they're trying to, so they have a foot in every place in the world. So
But Elon is trying to undo this. At least that's what I heard as of the 30th of August. So I don't know what's happening at this point.
It was something. It was something.
I just know there are going to be a lot of
new and
pirates
really
in Brazil.
hard.
Oh yeah, the big reason that Rumble did that is because it didn't like the way they were trying to silence people's free speech or something or other. It's a very complicated scenario right now for their aspect of it. For Elon, I just don't think he wanted to comply to their rules.
Yeah.
But
You
on the
It's
subject,
probably something.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying it's probably something political to summarize it up.
Elon Musk is just Seto Kaiba. We all know this.
Sadly, he's just
No,
one
so
type of
Kaiba-
Kaiba that nobody wants to care about.
No,
Seto Kaiba actually makes smart decisions, though.
True.
And he
Not
did a whole
dueling
lot more.
wise, but yeah, financially, yes.
On the
Listen, Petty Kaiba makes anyone... Man was so petty, he built a portal into the afterlife. What is Elon doing? Making shitty cars? Or at
Hey,
least
some of them are
funding
not
them?
that bad.
And
Some cars
hipster
aren't bad.
flamethrowers.
making
Nah.
jets in the shape of dragons.
Elon gonna build a machine that can summon cigarettes.
I believe
God,
art-
imagine we saw how awful the Cybertruck was. Now imagine if Elon was funding the projects of like Duel Runners. They literally cannot
God.
make a sharp turn, otherwise they just combust.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, that's Duel Runners in general.
Can we just make Elon make Yu-Gi-Oh happen? I
You
would
know,
like
the
to have a real
sad
life. We're
The
just
sad
start
part
girls.
is, if Elon made a Cybertruck style motorcycle, I think everyone would be on board with that shit.
If it actually
Yes.
worked and didn't have as many
Until the
safety
first
hazards
reply on
like the
it.
Cybertruck did.
Imagine taking the Cybertruck and cutting it down to a third where the only part of it is the wheels, the front, and the back. Just that little lane. And then they closed off the other side. A Cyberbike.
Yeah, they would make money.
The Cyberbike would be the
that-
greatest vehicle ever invented.
Deadass,
And
that
put, like
could
a dueling disc
that
equipment to it.
could that could be a thing, but there's still some things that you would need to pan out.
Maybe,
One.
but first things first, copyright patent pending. Elon, if you make this shit, you owe me money.
Oh,
We all heard this. We
Also-
all were here.
All of you are
funny
witnesses.
Get his
Also-
reparations. Give
You know what you did last podcast? We take this shit to our graves.
Yes, we clipped that. Thank you. Okay.
Yes.
Now, moving down the list, though, the next shitty internet decision to talk about is Discord and how they reduced their free upload limit from 25 megabytes back down to 10.
Oh, yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah.
That was
But-
dumb. But hey,
Because they
We're
are
still here.
greedy asses.
But embedding still works, so I don't give a fuck.
I never thought they limited, to tell you the truth.
It's always been like 8 megabytes, and then it went up to 25 megabytes, and now it's back down to 10 for free uploads. They could fix that if they just allowed different image and video types. Alice was ranting and raving about it in my server, but she was also using extremely colorful language that if I share, I'll probably lose my channel. But yeah,
that's fair.
you'll see what I mean.
That's fair.
Now let's try trying to take this out of the gutter and start pulling it back up. You guys have heard about that new Concord video game and how it got shut down after only 2 weeks.
Yes.
Oh,
And it
yes.
cost 400 million.
Hello. The worst people
Yes.
you know on the internet celebrated.
I did not know. I didn't. What is that? I don't know. what
It's
it is.
some new first-person shooter
it's,
that was trying to basically beat Marvel Rivals and Overwatch, and it was so poorly designed, it didn't even last 2 weeks.
They didn't even make
Overwatch
Rule
is
34 art of it.
And Sony
Oh,
called it just a little mistake when it cost 400 millions. Yes, a little mistake.
It took 8 years to develop, and they decided to develop that over a prototype and Infamous sequel.
Poor decisions
Over a
to
Mega
get poor
Man.
results.
I
Yeah.
want to point out too, saying that it had competition with something like Overwatch is such a stretch given the current climate.
Yeah,
They're literally patching stuff up as we speak, and it's once again like there was no point to be called Overwatch 2 at this rate.
nah.
Really not.
They're even trying to bring back 6v6, from what I hear.
But
Honestly,
Come-
you should have
but-
done that
but-
from the start.
I know I brought this up because another main complaint of Concord was also it's one of the first ever shooter games where you deadass did not want to play as any character because of how boring they looked. And I know I've gotten on Overwatch's case for a large majority of their cast being boring, but holy fuck, when you make me tell you, the game devs, that Winston from Overwatch is a more interesting character than anyone on your roster, you suck. You have failed.
Yeah, no kidding.
Or I like to call it the Karen approved Overwatch. And guess what? The Karen happened to the Karen approved Overwatch.
Didn't last 2 weeks. Now, what were you going to say before you were interrupted?
So like a game has failed. When not even Rule 34 artists would make like any significant art.
I saw that meme.
That's the other thing too. Overwatch's roster, I mean, the game as a whole is mostly still alive because horny people will make horny art of the characters who barely have any fucking personality but the good looks.
Well, yeah.
What are you going to tell me about the fucking ice bitch in that game? What's interesting about her aside from what they're doing on R34 with her?
Yeah.
What about Tracer, who's just a boring scout?
Yeah,
with time powers.
Yeah. On the note of video games, though, there is the Minecraft movie trailer.
Kill me now.
If we could go back a little to Concord. If we just pedal like a little bit back.
You know
I was checking it out and ended up
instead of a Minecraft movie, you know what I would deadass want to see?
What?
Just give me a Tekken movie, but with Leroy.
Okay, hang on. Lone wanted to say something. What's up, man?
Yeah, I was checking at who like sponsored Concord out of curiosity. And I found that Vanos did, but his bootleg Among Us game did more than double better than that game.
That is funny.
I want to point out too, when Concord did not break over pre-K players in the open beta, one of the devs was dead-ass shit-talking people like, "Oh, you're a skillless freak if you don't want to play this game." Dude.
That's literally the opposite of what Power World did.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, the
Very
only
cool.
interesting thing about the whole Minecraft movie is that they managed to get Jack Black in it for Minecraft Steve. And honestly, I am fine with that. That's it.
There is one game I want made into. There was one video game that I want made into a movie, but I know the wish will be dead on impact because Hollywood be Hollywood when it comes to video game to live action movie adaptations. I'd love a Dead Space horror movie.
Oh, I think we all would. And actually,
I can already see how they're going to fuck it up, especially when it comes to the necromorphs and the markers and whatnot.
And as it happens, Rom actually brought up the next topic on the list, which is the Sonic 3 movie trailer.
Okay, now we went from a bad adaptation to a good one.
That's the way it works.
This is really the year of Shadow.
Yeah, no kidding.
He's getting a game and he's getting a movie.
Keanu Reeves as Shadow the Hedgehog is a fantastic pick.
Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to the little edgelord.
Yeah, you and me both. I mean, anything that Keanu Reeves does, surprisingly enough, has some amount of good to it. I'm not going to sit here and say that every role he's ever done has been good, but damn, he's got a pretty good record.
I mean, when it comes to edgy characters with a tragic backstory, Keanu Reeves can pull it off. I mean, do I really have to point at his resume with John Wick,
Nope.
Baba Yaga?
Nope. And
For a second, I thought you were gonna say for an edgy character, Shadow is the poster boy. I thought you were gonna say that.
Also,
I mean, There's the standard rule that says black and red is the sign of a bad OC, but I think Shadow might actually break the mold on that one. Whew.
Yeah. To my knowledge, I think Keanu Reeves also did Jack Sparrow from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
No, that was someone else. It was certain Amber Heard person.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. My bad. Never mind.
It's no problem. But on the subject of good quality media, the final episode to Murder Drones finally came out.
Oh yeah.
It was just a clusterfuck.
It was a 20-minute long fight sequence, but damn if it did not look spectacular.
It did, but it didn't answer anything. And the worst was it had an open ending when Liam said it's only this one season. This didn't make sense at all.
It's not the end of the world, honestly. The guy got what he wanted to get out into the media, which is all any of us could ever ask for, is to tell our story and not have it run on for so long that it becomes the next Family Guy.
SpongeBob and The Simpsons are going into the next Family Guy trend at this rate.
Exactly, and that's the last thing that anybody wants. We'd love for our favorite shows to last forever, but the longer they go without an integral story to back every episode, the more likely they are to just degrade into shit.
Plus,
and then the power is cosmic.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, plus with the end of Murder Drones, they can start working on more stuff. They can work more on the Amazing Digital Circus, which I know the first 2 episodes of alone have gotten people interested.
Oh yeah. They've also announced that Amazing Digital Circus may only have 1 season because that's all they really need to get the message and the visuals out there. And if that's the case, I'm fine with that. They let us know in advance. If we do get a season 2, though, I'll be thrilled. Now, speaking... The next topic on my list...
I was just gonna say that, and then there's Power Rangers Cosmic Fury, which for 10 episodes is just not very good.
Go figure. Next topic on my list is actually about Tango Gameworks. You guys might remember this company is the one who made games like Hi-Fi Rush, and they were dismantled and all their employees were fired and all that. It was a long story, but the short end of it is this. They have been adopted and taken over by Krafton, which is a South Korean publisher. All the employees have been welcomed back, and they're planning to revive and expand Hi-Fi Rush as the first thing they do. And I am extremely happy with that. I've never actually played the game, but I've seen it played, and I have a huge appreciation for music-based games like that. No Straight Roads, Hi-Fi Rush, I love them.
It looks fun, but I suck at rhythm games, so I can't really get into it.
Nothing wrong with that. I suck at rhythm, too.
I haven't played it personally. Yeah, I haven't seen any gameplay, and I refuse to because I want to play it for myself.
Fair enough.
It's why I couldn't get into a game like Metal Hellsinger, because that's a really fun game where you play as a demon, where you play as a voiceless demon. Where you play as a voiceless demon and you're basically hacking and slashing demons as metal music plays in the background. You gotta get the rhythm of that going. But I suck at keeping the rhythm, so I couldn't get into that.
Keep the rhythm?
Basically, Doom, if you were jamming out to metal music via the rhythm, and it was somehow more metal than Doom.
Yes.
Also, welcome back.
Yeah, my mom hit the router.
Oh. The cave mom hit the router.
And...
No, that sounds actually like the Kamen Rider Hibiki game.
Little bit.
I actually am going to try. The Hibiki game where you had to actually finish off enemies with a rhythm mini game.
Honestly, I cannot think of any games that could be any worse than the Star Wars rhythm game where you have to do the dancing. So at this point, a Hibiki rhythm game sounds fantastic.
Yeah. And on theme, too.
Now, the last topic on my list is actually a continuation from last month's cast where we talked about Dragoneer's passing, who was the owner of FurAffinity, one of the most prominent furry art sites that ever existed. The outpouring of support for him has been astronomical. I am pretty sure that whoever owns it now will not have to worry about paying fees and charges for keeping that platform going for a long time. And one specific donation stood out among the rest. This particular person got a donation of $10,000 from Bad Dragon. Yeah.
I beg your pardon? Excuse me. I beg your pardon.
Listen, guys, I don't know what to tell you. They don't just sell naughty toys. They're also sugar daddies, apparently.
They have to be.
I mean, hey, Bad Dragon, I think, was actually advertised on FurAffinity for a while, so I'm not honestly that surprised. The amount is what surprised me more than anything. Oh, God, I shouldn't say that.
Wasn't there someone who hacked the FurAffinity account and got, like, several doses of karma afterwards?
Yeah, I wasn't going to bring that up, but as long as you already did, I might as well. Somebody tried to hack the profile and redirect it to his Bitcoin scam or something or other, some crypto scam, and not only did his plan backfire so hard that now everyone knows who he is, he has made an enemy of every FurAffinity user and the Kiwi farms.
Yeah.
And also is 300,000 in debts now.
Yup. The last thing that you ever want to do now. The last thing that you as a human being should ever want to do is piss off the owner of Kiwi Farms, Josh Moon. We know how stupid an idea that is. And if I believed in one, I would
the devil to a death match.
Wait, I'm sorry, but who's Josh Moon?
Josh Moon is the owner of Kiwi Farms.
Which is?
Kiwi Farms is a controversial, for lack of a better term, online information sharing platform. It's basically a giant forum website where people publicly share information about stupid things that people are doing in public view on the internet. And so many people have hated on him for sharing information publicly, and the people who work on the website sharing information publicly, that they are trying to basically ban him from the internet.
Oh.
Yeah.
I salute
basically, ableist 4chan.
Essentially, yes. Now, here's the thing. All he does is put up a place where people can share the information. What other people do with that information, he has no control over. And he himself does not actually attack people. He actually tries to talk to some of these people, and he makes fun of people for doing stupid stuff in public who hasn't. As far as I can tell, he hasn't done anything that bad.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's no different than a news outlet saying that this person committed a crime and you happen to know the person, you're offended that he was on TV. You can't hold the news source accountable for that. You can only hold the person who did it.
Yeah, I do want to say another thing.
Mm-hmm.
The funniest thing about all of this is that it involves somebody trying to revive a cryptocurrency in 2024.
Yeah.
Considering that, the metaverse is basically damned.
Of course. Now, that's all the quick topics I had on hand. I know Zivith wants to talk about his thing first, but Lone, you mentioned you had something real quick you wanted to bring up, and then we'll give Zivith his turn.
Oh yeah, I think it should go near the Power Ranger section.
Oh yeah, we can save that for the tail end of the show then, if that's the case.
I thought we had a Power Ranger section.
No, we usually end up talking about that toward the end because it has nothing to do with card games or anything, so... if you want to share it now, go ahead.
Okay, I can share it now.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not too much. It's just basically what I found in the comedic timing.
Mm-hmm.
For one, I forgot who I was complaining in length to about the new Isekai series.
Oh yeah,
I was complaining in
the Power Ranger guy who ended up in an Isekai.
Yeah, I was like, this one actually makes sense.
Excuse me, what?
Yo, send me that. I would watch that. Send me this.
The trailer has been posted.
I need to see this for science.
I posted it, and basically this right here where I'm gonna post summarize my take on Isekai anime so far, because most of them are garbage. And then this came out, which is actually makes sense of why the main character is overpowered. Because they're Power Ranger.
Hold on. There was one isekai of a wrestler.
Yeah,
Then
Kemono
one
friend.
that loved all
Kemono
the
Michi.
animals. That's not garbage. That's great.
Yeah, no, we're talking about a
Yeah,
completely
it's
different
I
show.
don't care. That's a great isekai. That's a
I
great
said
isekai.
most.
I don't care what anyone says. That's a great isekai.
It's so weird because isekai as a genre, just getting transported into another world by any means, sounds fun on paper, but somehow studios always just do too much and it ends up being weird. I feel like the two acceptable ones that I've managed to binge watch were The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime and Overlord.
The only
Because
every isekai has the same thing that the protagonist is super overpowered and can't be beaten.
it's true.
I mean, at the same, it's like it's so cliche, but I love the isekai animes where it's like, yeah, they have some serious moments and the protagonist can be overpowered, but there are times where they don't take themselves too seriously, and it leads to stupidly goofy moments.
Like
Mhm.
Shadow, who thinks that everything is a game for him, but the evil organization is real in the world he's in.
Yeah, as like what I'm saying, what I meant is like I was complaining how oversaturated it is, given most of these
Mhm.
genres were just cash grabs. Like a lot of them weren't good, and all the new ones I've been seeing coming out were garbage. And then this thing came out in my recommendation. I was like, okay, finally a good one.
I remember one that was like so goofy, the dude literally died just from being in the presence of a tractor. And he thought he got hit by a truck.
Oh,
That's
Konosuba.
Konosuba.
Yeah, Konosuba.
Yeah, that one.
I am of the
It's an
opinion.
anime where all the people are horrible, and somehow we love it.
I am of the personal opinion that the only good isekai anime is Kiba. And the only reason is because it has the most truthfully relatable main character. He voluntarily goes to another world, he kicks everyone's ass, and he has nothing to do with anyone. He hates the fact that he is here, even though he voluntarily came to be here. He is a complicated character, and I highly recommend you watch the Kiba anime because it's the only isekai that barely qualifies as an isekai where the main character voluntarily goes to another world because he hates the suffocating city he lives in.
Oh,
Yeah,
here's
I will mention
As
there
long as he
is
was,
one
as long
particularly
as-
garbage
Okay,
isekai, and funnily enough, it's also one of the biggest.
Which is?
Sword Art Online.
No.
No.
That was so boring.
It jumped the shark
So-
halfway through season 1.
Also,
It's-
it never understood what gaming is like.
Nope.
SAO is
I'm-
just pure shit.
I pointed this out, I believe, my first ever time here on the podcast because Sword Art Online was also brought up, but like, I'm never gonna forgive what they did with the Black Swordsman moniker. That shit belongs to Guts, not whoever the fuck this Kira character is.
The only
Mirisu is the biggest Mirisu in the history of anime.
agreed.
That's why you should watch one. You should watch One Piece. But no, that's why you should watch SAO Abridged instead of the regular SAO.
Yes. One of the only VTubers I'm actually following on YouTube, Alicia Light, is actually watching SAO Abridged with a friend, and she is losing her shit over this. She loves the show.
I mean, understandably.
And she's
You
also
know
watching
what's
Dragon Ball Z Abridged,
embarrassing?
but that's beside the point.
You know it's embarrassing when the ship posting abridged series is better than the official source, or you get recommended the abridged over the official source.
Yeah, unironically, the abridged Sword Art Online is better than the original.
I have
It
been
also
telling
makes
people
more
this for
sense.
years, and there are some people who still won't even give it a chance.
Like there are times where like I'll be talking about anime with someone, they'll bring it, and I'll bring up like Sword Art Online, and because personally I've watched like bits and pieces of it. I'm like, so, what's up with season 1? Is that worth watching? And like, as well as the few other seasons, like, nah, just go to the abridged source, the abridged series.
I am ashamed to admit this, but I have seen every single episode in hopes that there might be something good that came out of it, and no.
No, you know,
As like
you know
visually,
what's
it
the
looks
hilarious
nice.
thing?
Art-wise and everything else is horrible.
I unironically love love Suicide Squad Isekai.
Oh,
yeah,
that one
was
is
a
good.
funny one.
Yeah,
That was
for a few reasons.
I haven't
One,
seen it yet.
the ending theme. Go watch it.
Fair enough.
Well,
Oh yeah.
well,
Okay.
the only thing I can say that's not really spoilers about from what I heard is just it's a show where you just turn off your brain and have fun. Nothing, you take nothing serious with it.
Are we
Yeah,
talking?
it's a fun. Just turn off your brain and watch show.
Are we talking? Turn off your brain, bobo style?
Close.
If you want to, it's close to that. Yes.
Making
it's
sure.
close.
That's all I need
It's
to hear.
close to that. It's
Yeah, also,
enjoyable.
Also, fun fact about the ending theme. It's actually sung by a VTuber.
Of course it is.
Oh,
To be
no
fair,
wonder.
though, Uta from the One Piece movie that came out recently is her English voice actor is a VTuber.
Oh yeah, that I know. Amalie, I
course.
believe it was.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we should probably go ahead and start moving into the next topics because we've been talking about this for a while.
yeah.
I also wanted to bring up the fact that them just having Michael Jackson Clayface is the best thing I've ever seen.
Can't
My
argue that.
favorite.
100%.
Okay, so
Wish they used
next on the list would be Zivit's turn to talk about some wrestling stuff, and I assume other stuff too.
So let me start with WWE first before I come to AEW. So last weekend we had Bash in Berlin, the very first pay-per-view on German ground. And before that we also had the very first weekly in Germany, but that wasn't so great. Like, WWE gave us a Street Fight match with Nia Jax, and I don't have to tell you how awful this was.
Fair enough.
Like the entire stadium was asleep during the entire SmackDown episode. Like, weeklies don't fare well with German with a German audience. But Bash in Berlin made it even for that. It was a great pay-per-view. I go through all the matches. First the German commentaries got their moment in the stage and did some hyping in the ring before the show for real started. As the first match we got Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes, where Cody Rhodes won the match, but Kevin Owens was very conflicted during the match and was too afraid to abuse the knee injury Cody had because they are friends. So he was struggling a bit, and that's why Cody won in the end, but they respected each other. Then for the next match we had the women tag team match, which was a toilet break if you ask me. It was just awful. Like I don't get what people have on Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. They are both so boring, have zero charisma and zero ring skills on top of that. I don't know overall what's with the women division WWE that they suck so all much. Like all they can do is look good in slutty clothes, and that's it. This is no insult, by the way. It's just how I see it. How they are booked.
Of course, you can say something negative about a person and still be appreciative of them. There's nothing wrong with being judgmental of them doing something bad.
Yeah. Then as the next match we had the new Judgment Day, the group full of clowns against the Terror Twins, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, and both just destroyed Judgment Day. Judgment Day had no chance in the entire match. They got grounded, and so much it was almost a squash match. And like you can tell, like Judgment Day don't have a chance, and the Terror Twins get shown too strong, in my opinion. Like if Judgment Day doesn't get a new member who's super powerful out of sudden, then they will lose the fight and go to the undercard, where they truly belong, if you ask me. Except Finn Balor, he doesn't deserve that treatment. He did so much for the company over the years and really got skewed by injuries all the time.
Tragic, honestly.
But the rest, yeah, even if Dominic got way better in the ring and on the mic, no, he doesn't deserve to be in the main event yet. Like, let this guy rot in the mid to undercard. Like, let's be serious, he's just copying Eddie Guerrero at this point. I mean, I can get it, it's kinda his family and his idol, but still, you should do your own character and not copy another one, especially when that guy is already dead.
Okay, I know this technically doesn't parallel, but as a furry, I know a thing or two about copying other characters. It is insanely disrespectful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
not just that, but like any like media that involves like characters in any way.
Like he has the same hair length and beard at this point. He's also doing the same womanizer character as Eddie Guerrero, like with betraying each woman for each other and everything. It's just the same character, one-on-one at this point.
Because they were thinking, okay, a tribal chief Roman, successful character. So what if we try to do that again?
More or less, if it ain't broke.
Yeah, like look, guys, Roman Reigns worked, so how we made the Eddie Guerrero 2.0? It's just stupid. I mean, Reigns has the aura and is a mega star, if we are honest, and now as a face he can prove it actually, and he finally got the reaction he deserves. The fans wanted Roman Reigns, not Vince pressing Roman Reigns on our faces. That's all what I wanted to see. That's all what I wanted the other fans of him wanted to see. That he gets over on his own and not just get pushed in our faces. And that he is still so rare in the shows. It's okay, honestly. Like people who are really his fans and with time in wrestling, they know that Roman Reigns still has leukemia and has to fight with it. So he never can be at 100% again. But back to Berlin, next match, that was my favorite match, by the way, and I anticipated so much. It was the strap match, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. It was just a brutal ride, which I love to see, with CM Punk getting the win over Drew finally, after Drew had to eat 5 GTS in a row, like dude got destroyed. And then my second favorite match of the night, which was the main event of Bash in Berlin, was Gunther versus Randy Orton, which was almost a 40-minute match, which was amazing. Like, I didn't expect that Hunter let the main event go so long when the show was already at the 3-hour mark at this point.
Yeah, how long do fights usually last?
Modern wrestling fights last between 10 and 20 minutes.
Wow. Okay, yeah, no, that speaks volumes. Please continue.
Also in weekly, some matches even be 3 minutes or under that, but that are either squash matches or just undercut matches. Nobody interests for anyway. So you could say they are show filler. But yeah, returning to the main event, it was a very hard one, and it gave reminders of the Attitude Era, how both wrestled, and it was so good to see that Randy Orton is still in his prime shape and can do wrestle like he was in his prime, like it was vintage Orton, and I was happy to see that. And Gunther And Gunther's performance was as always extraordinary. Like these two had a perfect chemistry in the ring and showed it. And like the crowd was with them the entire time. It was they got the loudest pops of the evening and everything. With Gunther winning and retaining his title, of course, because he just won it, and we never had it that one guy just directly loses the title, except it was just the filler guy, which Gunther isn't. He's most likely also doing a new record with that title too, after he did with the NXT UK title and the Intercontinental Championship. Now to the aftermath of Monday Night Raw, where CM Punk was celebrating with the fans that he won against Drew McIntyre and that he has his speech that he's now here for business and can do business and wanted to go for Gunther and the championship next. But suddenly when he was celebrating with the fans on the commentary pole, Drew McIntyre came from behind and pulled him down and destroyed him. And then in the ring he gave him a claymore, then took his bracelet, destroyed it, and forced CM Punk to eat it before give him another claymore while he had his bracelet pieces in the mouth. And also gave him some headbutts and destroyed him.
That is so insane. I don't
think like you can tell we are officially back in Attitude Era with Triple H. Let him cook.
Clearly.
Before I end this, let's go over to AEW, where at the moment since 2023 is a hot fight going on between Jack Perry and Swerve Strickland, if the two wrestlers say you something, guys. But it's a very heated feud and hit a new level last night when Jack Perry showed how he burnt down the childhood house of Swerve Strickland after he just announced it a few days ago that he bought it back. Like, you could say this feud is really on fire now.
The more you talk about it, the more I want to sit down and actually look into wrestling. I just haven't had the time. I am sorry.
You have to go into it. It's amazing.
I will definitely do so at some point.
You will be directly into it.
I should hope so, given how highly you speak of it. Not to mention, a lot of people I know have talked about it. My wife knows about it. One of my roommates knows about it. I think Yugi Nono actually has a section about it in his own server. So clearly it's of quality.
Yeah, like you become invested with the characters so fast and really want to see their story unfold. Well, anyway, I would also talk about the newest One Piece spoiler, One Piece manga chapter, but it would be spoilers to you all, guys, and I know we have a rule against that, so I won't do that. But the chapter was fire.
I appreciate the respect toward that.
Well, back to you, and I go to bed now since I'm too tired. That's why I wanted to speak first.
Fair enough. You have a good night, man, and thanks for stopping by.
Even if I missed the Banlist talk tonight.
It's fine. Well. Don't worry. We'll probably be talking about it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until the next list comes, and until
Wrestling.
that, we post puking horses.
All right. See you next time, man.
Good night.
All right. So.
Nice. Be safe.
And before I leave, one more thing. Girly shoes are the best.
Fair enough.
High heels for life.
All right.
Bye.
So. See ya. All right. So. The next thing on our list is to actually start diving into the card games. First off, I'm sure Raven has a few things to talk about when it comes to the Lorcana TCG.
This month hasn't been as news heavy like last month and the month prior, but there's still stuff I can work with, stuff that's interesting. So, as far as recent Lorcana news, there have been a few updates. We got a challenge going on in Toronto that was streamed up to the second day for the top 64 or 32 players. I'm gonna have to double check on that. There is news on new themes and cards. There's some localization-based news, importing into another country because, well, it makes sense this time around because last month I talked about China, how they got Lorcana even though they got Winnie the Pooh stuff. And I may throw in some personal stuff that has occurred because, well, the news has been lax this month.
Wait, the event's not too far from where I live.
Really?
It's in Toronto. Let's start small news-wise. Localization news-wise, last month Lorcana started being sold in China despite the Winnie the Pooh hate among the government. You know, still ironic to this day, really. This month...
Actually, it's comparable to the... I believe you said Macross is coming into another card game, even though Macross agreed never to be in anything that could be imported to America.
Yeah. This month, Lorcana is going to Japan.
Oh, boy.
Yes, the Disney TCG is headed into the land that brought you the Kingdom Hearts manga. Yeah, that is a real thing.
Oh,
and those
Lord.
weird Lilo and Stitch spin-off animes. That was also weird.
Let's not get into
But
that.
hey,
just as Haley Joel Osment would say.
All right, so go ahead and continue.
But hey, as weird as those two things are from Japan Disney-wise, more future players to the player base, so that's nice in any stint. Also, yes, there's a Stitch manga, Rob. I can't... Why?
Then again,
Why
there
did
was
they
also
do
Lilo and
this?
Stitch anime that's an abomination of man, so...
Then again, they did make a Powerpuff Girls anime over there. Why am I not surprised in the slightest?
To be fair, the Powerpuff Girls anime
I
was
actually
kinda
almost
decent.
forgot about that.
That anime was great. But also,
No, I'm not
I gotta
saying
go
it. I'm not
'cause
saying it was.
my boy's ready to go to the locals. I forgot he's at 3
God.
today. Sorry, guys. I was like, I swear I said 4. But I love you all. I'll be watching from the shadows. See you guys next month.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
But anyway, second bit of news is based around the future themes revealed at D23, a Disney convention, basically. Themes for new cards and future sets and products for 2025 and 2026. The same convention that gave us confirmation news for Zootopia 2, because you furries wanted more.
Yeah.
And Toy Story 5, even though I'm more hyped for Shrek 5 releasing on the same day, funnily enough.
Which one will do better?
Listen, Toy Story 5 Toy Story should have ended with 3. They didn't need to continue.
100%.
And Shrek 5 was a given because of the success of Puss in Boots 2. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
But that all aside, we got 3 themes to look forward to today. One obscure, one controversial, and one beloved by many.
Let's hear them.
First theme we got confirmation for card-wise is The Black Cauldron.
Ooh.
This old movie that bombed at the box office has a sizable cult following. It's easy to see why in later years, as you rewatch it in later years. Even if the story is cooker cutter and mid to some, and tell that the art direction was in good hands. Maybe too good given how many kids it traumatized from the villain design alone.
Hey, if your villain design can do that much, then clearly you're doing something right. That's what happened with Power Rangers and Lord Zed.
Dude, the Horned King is such an underrated villain, and he would fit for a TCG like this, where they go crazy with the art design. Now we get into the controversial one that many people are tied with. I'm on the fence, really. Next theme, I can understand why people are angry, but once again, on the fence, Pocahontas.
Oh,
the racism
interesting.
one.
On one hand, I can see where people come from when they express disdain, solely because, well, the actual story is fucked up. What more is there to say about American history, I suppose? but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you all saying there was no good stuff within that movie, as controversial as it was. And I feel like a lot of the good aspects, like the songs and whatnot, and even some of the art design and direction would be fitting for Lorcana.
Mm-hmm.
That and, despite the controversy, there was still a fair number of native people who really loved this movie, and had Pocahontas as a role model, so, it did something good. But away from that debating nightmare, that would make Hogwarts Legacy blush, we enter a theme that has surprised people as much as Brother Bear has theme-wise.
Which is?
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Yes.
Yeah, that Saturday morning classic, they're getting cards. In either 2025 or 2026.
My wife and I downloaded that entire TV show. I have been begging her to sit down and watch it with me. She would have a field day with some of these. And let's not forget that Gadget exists. I don't need to say anything else.
I want to point out, too, with the announcement of Zootopia 2 there may be more Zootopia cards in Lorcana in the future. We'll have to see.
It'll be dumb if they don't take advantage of Zootopia 2.
Uh-huh.
Well, they still need to get stuff from Zootopia 1. We only have like a handful. You can't really make a sort of themed deck around it at the moment. Unless you're like me and cooking up a Frankenstein's monster to get Nashi to approve of.
Like you did with my Emperor's New Groove deck.
Yes, I will go over that in the personal, because there's some funny stuff. Next up, Toronto had for the actual Toronto stuff happening. They had some interesting decks and matchups. We saw Emerald Steel making a comeback to a degree, with Prince John Greediest of All being the centerpiece over Bucky, because Bucky got eroded into shit.
The first card
that was like by set 4. We're on set 5 now, but John Greediest of All basically is like every time your opponent discards a card you draw. I went over it, but these days we have a $30 card that's still, like, even without Bucky, is still seeing a lot of competitive play. May I introduce you all to Diablo?
This
Diablo.
I faced off against it.
No,
when you play small Diablo, when you play this character, immediately look at your opponent's hand. 1 cost.
Oh.
Wait.
Yeah. This is
Diablo's
what
a bird?
Yep.
This is what Bucky gets for selling his soul to the Dark World.
And then the shift form that you can play turn 1 or 2 because it has a pretty light cost of discarding an action. During each opponent's turn, whenever they draw a card, even during their draw phase, you get to draw that card, so long as Diablo's exerted. So by turn 2, you're getting plenty of card advantage, and it's a size 3 that can sing for some of the better steel removal cards.
So basically,
when the card comes back.
It's free. It's free advantage 101.
Basically,
sounds like it. Real estate.
Then for some of the more prevalent decks on the scene, we've gotten Steel Song once again, because that is not dying anytime soon. Basically, Amber decks that love using singers, and those singers in question can mitigate the cost for some of the biggest board wipe cards ever. And then we got Ruby Amethyst. Tamatoa was there too, but Ruby Amethyst is funny because they rely on draw power, playing big beaters to overwhelm the opponent, ramping cards with lore, or drawing more cards. They use the Madame and Merlin engine that I know I talked about day 1. Well, my first ever segment here. But there is a funny lore ramp strategy that they all use, and I just have. So there is a card called Flynn Rider Frenemy. At the start of your turn, if you have a character in play with more strength than any opposing character, you just gain free lore immediately. And what people would do, they would play this turn 2. Turn 3, there is a free drop Sisu card that says, and I quote, "This card gains 1 strength for every card in your opponent's hand. Slifer the Sky Dragon."
No, it's more like
Sky
the
Dragon, but
God
opposite.
card.
It's more like Muka Muka.
But basically, turn 3, you're gonna have a Sisu that's big and strong, and then Flynn just says, "Yeah, gain free lore for free." Yeah, totally balanced.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, and small Sisu could also shift into this Sisu that could just... that's another board wipe.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't it be?
And when you...
Now you're talking my language.
Uh-huh.
I forgot this was the card. This was a
And then they had a funny location card that was... just read the Queen's... Aside from gaining lore, 2 lore every turn in the set phase, and then being a 7 body, yeah, moving characters here for cost 1 to draw that many cards at the start of your turn before the draw phase is always funny.
I draw.
Yeah, but counterpoint. Kronk head of security.
Counterpoint. You need to invest so much just to take this fucking thing down. It's not even funny. I went to my first ever case tournament, for set 4.
Oh, how'd that go?
Basically, the prize is a promo, a case of booster boxes, and a playmat, of course, which I love the art on, but surprisingly, for my first ever tournament in this game, I was 1 off of top 8.
Oh.
And I was playing the most jankiest tribal deck ever. So Sapphire Steel Hero Tribal is a deck, and it focuses around an Ana card. Well, there's 2 cards that are basically your key strats in the deck. There's an Ana card that, whenever it quests, your other hero characters get a lore counter. This stacks, and you're putting down small characters constantly. And then there's a fill card from good old Hercules that says whenever you play a character, well, a hero character, you get 1 lore. And it's the funniest shit.
I know what deck you're talking about.
Yeah, because I tried to play it against you at one point when it was still in the testing phase. And then afterwards, after literally the second podcast when I went over some Lorcana stuff, I got DM'd from a friend asking me, "Yeah, I'm interested in Lorcana. Can you build me a deck around Dr. Facilier?" I'm like, okay, I can do that. He fucking wiped the floor with me because I made it too good for a beginner level deck.
Honestly, kind of a worrying trend for you.
Yeah, starting to realize that.
But the reason why, well, aside from Dr. Facilier being so fucking good, basically you have small forms that can shift into a big form that says whenever a character dies, you can just recur them to the hand. So this is good with characters who have haste, because if they die in combat, they go back to hand, and you can play them again and then rush again.
Yeah, see, I'm used to this. If y'all, oh, sorry.
But there was one card that really sealed the deal, and it was a Mother Gothel card that I hinted at earlier. But Mother Gothel, Selfish Manipulator. While this character is exerted, aka tapped, opposing characters cannot quest. So you have to kill this bitch in order to get your main win con. She is a floodgate.
Of course she is.
I hate everything about this.
Good, because I did too, and I'm the one who added her to the deck.
You know, maybe I shouldn't have you build my Zootopia deck, because by that logic, you'd never win.
Congratulations,
you played yourself.
Listen, I've won I've won some games against my fucking bullshit, alright, but Zootopia strat-wise, I'm leaning toward like Sapphire Amber because there's a synergy there, and plus a lot of the good sort of, Frankenstein creation. We want all of the furry cards, and all of the good ones are Sapphire and Amber. You'll see when it's completed, Nanashi. I'll make sure of that in the official channel.
I'm sure you will.
All of that.
Yeah, but now you've told me Lorcana has dragons, and now I am probably interested.
Well, they've had dragons. Okay, maybe they don't have like a whole they don't have a sizable amount, but they do have stuff. There's Maleficent Dragon form that, when played by any means, can just banish a card, and then there's even a Prince Philip who is just Dragon Slayer, who is just Dragon Killer from Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's like, oh, if you play him, you just banish a dragon classified character. Oh, you know how many of those cards are dragon? Most of the dragon cards are fucking Sisu variants.
Alright, well,
now I want to play Sisu.
We are past the 1 hour mark, by the way, so was there anything else?
Yeah, I was about to, aside from the personal stuff and the new stuff, there wasn't really much else, sadly.
Alright, well, the next segment on the list is actually Digimon, so that would be Ignister's responsibility today, since unfortunately Ori couldn't join us due to having no internet.
Is there Digimon stuff related news today?
Not much. Just like Lorcana. So let's get the negative stuff out of the way. EX7 has been delayed in North America by a week. Okay, and then well, since Ron posted it, I might as well get to it. We have a new ban list.
Oh.
So the following cards are reduced to 1, if I could find it. Because I don't remember the list. Actually, hold on. Okay, there we go. So the following cards are reduced to 1. The promo Ukamon, the promo Louis Owada, Hammer Spark, Awakening of the Golden Knight, Numemon X Antibody, and TK Takaishi. I'll give rundown on what they do in a minute, but first, Gabumon went from 1 to 4 now. So we can now play it as a playset again. So real quick, Ukamon, if any Digimon moves out from the breeding area to the battle area, including itself, you may hatch another Digi-Egg, and you gain a memory. Combine that with the promo Louis, where on play, you get to move one of your level 3 or higher Digimon from the breeding area to the battle area. And once you do, you can suspend it to gain a memory. This is kind of a rushdown strategy, which is a problem. And Hammer Spark, just a 0-cost blue option that could just gain you a memory, which is pain. And Awakening of the Golden Knight, one of your Digimon with the armor form trait, i.e. one of the many armored Digimon we have that were introduced in 02 or season 2 of the or season 2, depending on how you want to look at it, into Magnamon X Antibody. Now, when this card was released, we only had 1, which fell off when the card got released. But now we have a new one, and it is very much a problem. And Numemon X Antibody. It was part of the best deck for who knows how long. Because like when it dies, as long as you have a Numemon X Evolution Sources, just play any Numemon from your trash. Doesn't matter the level.
Wow.
Jesus.
And
well designed.
And last but not least, the BT14 TK. When you play it, you add the top card of your security to your hand. Then choose any Digimon with the vaccine trait from your hand and place it as the bottom Digivolution card in your not Digivolution card. Bottom card of your security. And when a card is, I think, removed from security? No, added to security. You suspend it to gain a memory. Works with Beyond Play too.
All these vaccines and these vaccine combos and Digimon are still getting sick. What the fuck?
Ooh.
They
And
are viruses after all.
Look
not
at
all
look
of,
what
not
they
all
did
of
to
them.
my man. Look at what they
Not
did to
all
my
of them
man
are.
Leomon with all these vaccines.
Some are
Yeah, I know
vaccine,
there's three
some are
different
data, and some are virus. While some, and then some are just free. There's also Digimon Liberators, which well, a new part of it is gonna get released next week, and I honestly cannot wait for it. And now, for some of the reveals that got me personally interested, we got 2 new pieces of D-Reaper support. So first one, we have a new ADR01 Jerry. And basically, it is meant to be like a better defensive option for the deck. So like the idea is like to place her under the sources of your Mother D-Reaper, and then whenever your opponents attack you, you just play it out. And then reduce their DP. Next, we have D-Reaper Zone. An option that can place itself face up in security. And pretty much reduces DP more. So yeah, that's fun.
Sounds like it.
And now for the last bit of cards. In BT18, we got introduced to a new series of cards, which is the Millenniumon series of cards. Gazimon, which searches it, a new Chimeramon and Machinedramon, which are going to be used to make the Millenniumon, cause lore, and a new Deltamon, which recurs, and also has raid for some reason. I never knew that. And the new Millenniumon is just absolutely bonkers. Only hindered due to the lack of support of the trait it has. But now in BT19, we got more support. First of which being a new Gizamon, where when you play it, you discard any card with Composite or Wicked God in its trait to draw 2.
Composite.
And a new Shademon, which can Digicost for 2 just by using a Nene, which is the first card to ever use a Tamer as the requirement. And when you play, it searches more. Reveal top 3, add 1 card with Twilight or Composite in its traits from among them, and trash the rest. And the new Deltamon, which on play or when Digivolving or on delete, discard a card to delete 1 level 4 or lower. And last but not least, well, we got a new Tamer, but that's more so for Twilight. But you can play it in Composite if you want. A new, actually no, not, I say new like it had an appearance in the TCG before. Moon Millenniumon. You guys remember that 1 card in GX, like Moneybag? Like when your opponent has like 6 or more cards in hand, your opponent forces you choose randomly to where they have 5 left.
Oh yeah, that was a weird one.
Yeah, it's basically that in this case for Moon Millenniumon. Where on play or when Digivolving, your opponent trashes cards in their hand till they have 5 left. Then for every 2 cards trashed by this effect, delete a Tamer. Just, why not?
Jeez.
Yeah. And in terms of the other support, we got our first secret rare, which is the Luminamon Nene version, which is neat. Probably not, doesn't really pique my interest personally, but it's neat. And that is pretty much all I got personally.
All right, well, let's see here. In that case, the next topic on the list would actually be Pokemon. And we have a couple of quick Pokemon things that we can go over since Yosh is not here. First off...
The mana Pokies. As it said, Poki.
The first one being the Pokemon Unite and how their Battle Pass price went up.
I haven't played that in forever.
Pokemon Unite being cringe. Surprised?
Must be a day that ends in Y.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like all I hear from it is Ori complaining that he deranked again.
Pokemon Unite is so weird, and I pointed this out in the topic suggestion channel when it was brought up. Pokemon MOBA game similar to League of Legends, in theory, on paper, could work, but in execution, as shown here, it's so they fucked everything up. Yeah. Why pick a Pokemon to grind out as your main when you can just pay and buy the most broken Pokemon ever that has no doubt been nerfed a bunch of times since you bought it? Literally everyone during the Mewtwo event, it's like, oh, the most broken legendary that you can play as if you get out mommy's credit card. Oh, what? They had to nerf it day one because it was stupidly broken? Gee. The fucking dev team has the foresight of a baked potato. Actually, no. That'd be an insult to potato-based products because pretty sure even a dying potato from the potato famine would have better foresight to know that maybe pay-to-win Pokemon is not the way to go.
Maybe like a single speck of dirt.
Dirt has a purpose.
Fair enough.
Well, the other topic I had to bring up was the Pokemon World Masters Tournament and how the person that came in first place, a man by the name of Fernando Cifuentes, had a deck list that only cost $52.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this one.
I would adore seeing a deck win a massive tournament like that and it costs less than triple digit. I would be so thrilled.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's always good when a deck is affordable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
was gonna say.
I would love RDA to.
Hang on, guys. Lolan was trying to say something. What's up?
I was gonna say if you want to play a good Pokemon game with animation, just look at Pocket Incoming and I post the video of how good the animations are.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. TCGs, when you can win with anything that's like in budget range, is, I mean that's why physical play wise I moved to Lorcana because Yu-Gi-Oh has gotten to a point where it not only burns you out, but it's too damn expensive to keep up. But Lorcana, ironically enough, despite being from Disney, you just need to get like one or two of the starter decks, maybe some singles, and you can easily construct something competent within like a $40 budget range.
Good to know, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same for Pokemon from what it looks like here.
Well, sadly, according to Double Helix, the person who actually I was referring to got knocked out of the tournament for unsportsmanlike behavior anyway, so that just kind of took the wind out of my sails.
Well, at least they're tackling that. When was the last time you ever saw something like that in another TC? And it was like, what, that one time Sam got knocked out even though his opponent was like acting up?
Well, there was that one time a podcast or two ago that a guy tried to steal what he considered to be his tournament prize and got suplexed in the middle of a store.
Oh yeah, that one.
Hold up, what?
I'll get you. Rom, if you'd be so kind as to look up the article of the guy who got suplexed at a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, I think it was a month or two ago. Feel free to do that.
Yeah, this is news to me. I want entertainment after being disappointed.
I'm pretty sure you were there for that cast, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think
I'm sure you were there.
But
I might have forgot, but regardless, it's still amazing.
It's like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the guy was slow playing an entire game. Someone called him out on it. He got butthurt. Went up and tried to grab what he considered to be his prize because he thought he deserved to win. Tried to steal it from the store owner. Store owner happened to be military and suplexed his ass. And cherry on the cake, when the police showed up to take him, his friend who drove him down there had bench warrants. So both of them got taken in.
Wait, what? Have benchmarks?
Oh yeah.
City
There
warrants.
is hold on. There is a story I wanna share of like a video that I saw, but I'll save that for the Yu-Gi-Oh segment.
Thank you. Because next up is the Cardfight Vanguard stuff. What do you got for us?
Actually, I do have something.
Cool. Let's hear it.
Yay.
They made a new Eugene, which I have very mixed feelings about. I think it was Infernal Duststorm Eugene.
Hold on, let me see. Yeah, in front of Duststorm Eugene, where it's also treated as the original.
Yeah. They improved it by a lot. No more Soul Blast 5. It's just counter and Soul Blast 1 for him.
Damn.
Yeah.
Which is a step in the right direction for him, I'd say.
And yet it still loses to something like Black Meyer because the Divine Skill could just make it not treated as the original Eugene.
True. It auto loses to Blankmeyer. You still rest stuff, which I don't like. But you rest 2 to retire an entire column.
And it bypasses effects like Trickstar, where it can't be chosen by opponent effects. Because you're not choosing the
what
unit,
you're telling me is that
you're choosing the column.
So what you're telling me is that Vanguard has Yajiro Invader.
Pretty
Neat.
much.
Yeah, kinda.
He's coming. Yeah. He's coming so much that he entered Vanguard.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so and if he swings, you Counter Blast 1, so yeah, he swings at Vanguard, Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1. Dig from the top 5 for 2 grade 3s, call them to the same column though. That part I did not like.
Well, grade 3 or less.
Yeah, grade 3 or less, which is pretty going to happen. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or more, they get 5k. This is just Spike Brothers.
Yeah, also like an additional like stipulation that they must have 3 or more open rearguard circles.
But you're playing Eugene. You're playing Dragon Empire. That should happen irregardless.
Yeah. If your opponent doesn't have 3 or more open rearguards, then there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. This new version of Eugene gives the deck something it sorely needed. More multi-attack. Although sad part is it misses timing.
Damn.
That is a genuine shame.
It misses timing because units called by this effect miss timing.
Well, it only misses timing like if they require the Vanguard to attack, to my knowledge.
Fuck missing the timing.
Yeah, like Eugene decided to literally become a gold paladin.
I actually do want to share some thoughts of Empodio because I didn't get to share them last month because well, spoilers.
All right.
So like, I actually really like the card. Like, it is like just straight up bonkers. Which I'm pretty sure like Phoenix mentioned this last time, but well, just 5k for every 2 gauges you have, and the divine skill just at the simple cost of like what, discard a card, you gain 2 drives and a crit.
The whole deck is literally just tank on your opponent's turn, and then on your turn it's PG or die.
Yup. And well, actually, speaking of gauges, we got the reveal of the final destined one, Leo Odium. Which her divine skill just give you an extra turn.
But you don't ride. You skip your main phase. Your ride in main phase.
Oh yeah, true. And she gets drive +1, but it's Mischief of the Time Goddess. It's Mischief of the Time, but yeah, turn skip.
Yeah,
so wild.
Yeah, basically,
No, it's
Odium-
made in heaven.
Odium is. I'm just going to mischief of the time. Your turn? You mean my turn?
You're
Well, by the way, the card, the person who used it, a little child, and it's the sister of the protag.
Of course it is. Why
Uh,
wouldn't it be?
yes, the protagonist's little sister is over here turn skipping people.
Yeah.
And funny enough, last week we got the future version of her with Lil Amorta.
Amorta is fun.
Yeah, I haven't played Amorta. The only faded one or destined one that I personally tried is Zorga, and I liked it.
But here's the thing. The only real beef I have is Alden literally doing nothing.
Yeah, it's
Like-
pretty much just a defensive deck.
Yeah, Alden, here's the big problem with Alden. I played Vermilion against Alden. They said, and guess what happened? Nothing, because Alden says, I stop you from being retired.
Nice
Yeah, that just sounds-
design.
Yeah, that just sounds boring to pace against.
You don't stop everything else. You don't stop Vermilion and Blankdemeyer from binding them. Literally,
Okay, I can't say. Okay, let me put this in Yu-Gi-Oh terms for those who don't know. Can't say them. Can destroy them by card effects. Okay, cool. I'll banish them instead.
Ah.
yeah, because basically what happens with Blankdemeyer, he says, I attack, bind 2.
Yep.
Vermilion says, I punch 3 things. That's
Yeah.
another thing. That's another thing that they also Alden oversight. Alden says, I can't retire by card effect.
Never said anything by battle.
Also, and the 10k shield doesn't. The intercepts get 10k shield doesn't matter if I'm attacking your front row.
Mm-hmm.
So both
Because you can't use the units that's being attacked to guard, to my understanding.
Yeah. So basically, although Vermilion does have its flaws, it's doing a lot better place than Alden for the mere fact that Alden auto loses to anything that doesn't retire.
Well, I mean by card effects, anyways. If you're all about retiring them by battle, then zoom, go burn.
Yeah, they auto lose to Gandiva. They auto lose to a lot of stuff if you think about it.
True. Because unless it's like a Dragon Empire deck specifically, I don't think any of the other decks care.
Yeah, Messiah they auto lose.
I think they even auto lose to Dimensional Robos.
Oh yeah, because they can bind shit now.
Yeah, and also, they just go burn.
Yeah. Also, Alden don't got hand like that to guard most restanding vanguards. Hence why he needs the protection. So Alden can get fucked up by Vagra.
Yeah, meanwhile, some of the other destined ones, they at least have like something going for it. Well, except maybe the first one shown, but details.
Yes. Although I'm still kind of weirded out by the lyrical destined one just saying I'm a restanding vanguard that gets 5k power for the game. For the
rest of the game.
Yes. I don't need lollycat girls. It can Empire fight Dragon Empire your shit. Cause that's what the new destined one is. It's literally just a cat girl that smacks you in the face twice.
Yeah, I know, but that can be taken out of context.
While saying senpai.
And that's the title of this podcast.
Quite possibly. Speaking of which, we have reached a 90-minute mark, so was there anything else you wanted to talk about before we moved on?
That's pretty much it.
Well, there is something I want to say personally. On the subject of dimensional robots that I brought up earlier, I tried it out for the first time. Because, like, well, I didn't know how to feel about it when it got revealed, but I was like, you know what? I love this archetype. Why the hell not?
The only thing you need to know about D-Police is, did you hit them with big numbers? Did you shout justice?
D-Police, you just gotta step on someone's neck and suffocate them, and there you go, victory.
Dude, little too far.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I didn't fully read the base because like I didn't think like it also fetches from deck the turn you played it. So like if I did, I would have gotten to Dayusha like one turn quicker.
Fair enough. Well, if it's all right with you guys, I'm going to move on to the next topic because we are starting to run a little behind.
All right.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done.
All right, well, the next topic on the list is actually Weiss Schwarz, and there's not a lot of news, which is apparently going around. We finally got the last match for the Bushy Road Spring Fest a couple of weeks ago, which was over in Mauves, France, and the first place team of 3 that won was, that time I got reincarnated by a slime, the Murin build, Quintessential Quintuplets Itsuki Yatsuba build, and Seven Deadly Sins Elizabeth Hendrickson build, which is a direct reflection of all the hits that they made to the Banlist that they released last month as well. So I am very happy to see this, even just this small slight shakeup. Now, the new products that have been released are Ayakashi Triangle and yet another Hololive pack, being the Production Summer Collection Premium Booster, which, if I understand correctly, is just Hololive characters in swimwear.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, they have confirmed that we are getting...
I was gonna say, it's not the most, it's not the most original thing to happen for... as far as VTubers and TCGs go, but you know the simps are gonna eat it up if they discover it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, Gargura is going to be wearing swimwear. Who wouldn't want that, I guess?
Well, I mean, I got a card of Karaji Ali, so...
Shork at the beach.
Go figure. But
this isn't a beach, this is a bathtub.
Thank you for that. I had just forgotten about it. So... new products that they've announced. We are getting a Quintessential Quintuplets Specials booster at the start of January of next year. The Pixar series, which is going to be only for Asia and Oceania, is going to be released on January 24th as well. And on February 21st, we have been confirmed to get a release of the Blue Archive series.
Oh, really? Damn.
Yeah, we've also been confirmed that we're getting, at some point, a reprint of the Konosuba Volume 3 set. I assume that's because they're planning on importing more Konosuba cards. I'm not sure.
Gotta ask, what's the budget range for Weiss Schwarz in comparison to what we talked about so far?
It really depends on what deck you're playing. If you're playing something for kicks, you're looking at maybe 50, 75, maybe even $100 if you use basic staples from the series. If you're playing competitively, couple hundred maybe. It's not that different from Yu-Gi-Oh!, especially if you're looking for the waifu cards. But I will say this, the signed print cards are usually what are the highest priced stuff.
I mean, same thing with Digimon. Like, some of the decks, like the most expensive like I've seen is like $200, and that's the Omnimon deck. But that's because my version runs like 10 secret rares. And aside from the alt arts, they're like the highest. They're like the most sought after.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since like each set, well, most of the sets, there are 2 secret rares in the entire set.
Yeah, when it comes to their rarities, though, they actually have signed print as a built into the game rarity, so that makes the game feel at least a little unique. Not to mention native card art, full card art.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all the Weiss Schwarz news that I happen to have as it happens, so we're going to go ahead and move right into the Yu-Gi-Oh!
Woo!
Oh boy, and we're all gonna have some thoughts on that.
All in due time. A couple of things I need to go over before we get to the you-know-what. First things first.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that McDonald's collab with the Hello Kitty toys?
Yes.
I have 3 of them.
You do?
Yes.
I actually want to collect them myself whenever I get the chance.
Cool.
I'm still not going to get over how the same company who made Hello Kitty also made Aggressive Let's Go.
I am not surprised by that at all. They clearly have a thing for making small animal characters.
They did.
Yeah.
I believe they made a cross.
Well, I'm surprised because these are like, this is a series based around cute animal character that's also, fucking death metal enthusiast that would make the gang of Metalocalypse blush.
Fair enough.
Hey,
fair enough.
Hey, Raven.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh! X Hello Kitty X McDonald.
Yep.
Would you
that's
believe
what
me
we're
when I
talking
say that? Would you believe me when I say that Hello Kitty actually also collabed with Gundam of all things?
Yeah,
I
and
wouldn't be
Mazinger Z.
surprised.
Okay, cool. Because that was an actual thing that happened. I found it on Twitter.
Well, real quick, there's only like 3 things to talk about when it comes to Master Duel. The first one being the Water and Wind Festival, and as much as I hate to admit it, Ice Barrier dominated the whole event.
Yeah,
To the
because Wind is
surprise
basically
of
taken down by
who?
one continuous spell card.
There was also the tryout duel for Fusion Gate, which means that both players had a copy of that field spell on their board the second the game started, which sounds fantastic.
It was.
Let me guess, FTK Luke shenanigans?
What else would it be?
well,
Electrum,
not
let's
really.
go!
Well, from
Yeah,
what I've heard, not
Electrum.
really. More so, just annoying jank.
Yeah, what else is
I
new?
want to point out about the Ice Barrier thing too. You're putting Ice Barrier in a format where it will no doubt shine against a community of people who never read their cards. What do
Yeah.
you think is going to happen? Especially when one of the cards is like, oh, in order to activate effect, you have to discard a card. And people love that effect activation button.
Yeah,
What
but,
can you do?
monkey noises.
It's so funny
Okay.
that Raiho exists as a card. It's so fucking funny.
Literally watched a video where a dude built Watts, had that one Watt Castle card that was like, oh, all of the cards in the same columns as this and Watt monsters cannot activate their effects. The dude playing Salamangreat kept summoning to the columns the Watt cards were in and was wondering, why card no work?
Oh no, I've actually had something funnier happen. I was playing Goki. He was gonna last a few turns. I said summon Master Ogre. Attack, you'll have 500 left. He says activate Magician's Navigation. Okay, game.
Gotta love it. So,
Doesn't that do piercing damage?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The
It's
Watt
like
2024
when-
experience, yeah. I'm still working on my Watt deck as it happens, so look forward to that. The last thing on the Master Duel list I was going to mention was the Cheer for Your Champion campaign, which lets you cast votes for the favorite team that's going to be at the big tournaments. That's literally all the Master Duel news that I could find that was worth mentioning. So now we get to the topic in the TCG that everyone wants to talk about. Thank you, Vomit Horse, for bringing us the ban list.
You know, looking at the ban list, I was initially somewhat neutral on it. Then I found out about Azumina and thought, yeah, this is actually dog shit.
Well, I mean, me personally, I just don't care. The only thing I cared about was Prospa being put to 1, which hurt me physically.
There are some things about it, key stuff that I feel like they glossed over or just did not address.
Obviously.
They put Colossus the 2, which is still iffy really for me, as if that 1 wasn't already iffy enough. Protoss is still around. God, they're really snorting that crack, huh? And then they're like, okay. Let's bring back Eva, the fucking fairy card that recycles for days, and instead of banning like Hugin or some other, that's another Hugin. I just want Runic to be less splashable. Is that such a controversial take?
No.
Dude, I'm gonna say this banned field spell. It would kill the deck too. I just want to kill the deck.
Well,
Kill the
the
deck.
field spell is only problematic because Hugin's just a one-card combo that sets up everything, especially for the floodgate strats that use the engine. So if
Yeah.
you kill Hugin, break her little fucking fairy neck, then the deck, and then you can have your fountain back to free because it's less problematic. Also, Hugin just protected the field spell as well, which also made that a pain in the ass to deal with.
All right, well, let's go ahead and give some context to the whole Banlist conversation, because there might actually be somebody out there who's watching this and doesn't know about it. Went into effect on September 2nd. They banned Fiendsmith Lacrima, Apollosa, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity, and Beatrice.
I remember people
Good.
were being happy about Lacrima being banned, and then they noticed the rarity of Lacrima.
Yup.
Common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, as Double pointed out, another thing that pissed me off, why is Shifter still here? Who wanted him?
Like they're ever
Also-
going to hit a hand trap like that.
Yeah, King Calamity paid for the sins of Centurion.
Yep.
I mean, at the very least, Roland Lockbird is playable around. I mean, I've played around Roland. I've won in games where I've been rolled. Because despite what many people think, being rolled isn't that abysmal unless you're a deck that like searching a lot. But
Or-
Shifter, nah, fuck that card.
Also, in response to Double Helix, if you get rid of Hugin, Tip, and I mean, you also just limit Tip. That's all you have to do. You don't really need to do a lot to limit the power level of Runic, as far as an engine goes.
I
Yeah.
still think that the decks that
I don't particularly hate Runic
like
themselves.
the
I just hate the
generic
stun variant and how they've been forced to have that as their best play style.
It really does suck.
Here's-
Also, they
here's
won't
the-
ban Sanctifier because Lamau pins.
Yep.
Yo, I've actually got someone through Shifter with Zerovoros because they didn't read what he did.
They continuing on, they also limited Eva, Snake Eye, Ash, and Poplar, number 40 and C40 gimmick puppets of Strings and Dark Strings.
Which I want to point out did not kill the FTK variant, despite
Nah.
people like. I played the OTK variant personally, but in the official gimmick puppet servers for the deck, everyone who was only there for the FTK version, fake people, they immediately tried saying the deck was dead because FTK somewhat inconsistent.
You know,
It
they
just
haven't
takes more
hit the
pieces.
actual
Fuck the FTA
right?
only need one of each. I don't.
Only because
They didn't only
knew.
play one of each.
Yeah.
It just
Well,
takes more
they
pieces now.
play. They played one of the. I believe they played one of the normal one and two of the chaos form because Argent Chaos could just summon it on top of any one. To be honest with you,
Mhm.
but even then, it's like you can still do the FTK. It's not dead if you want to be a degenerate in that regard.
But continuing down, they also limited Branded Fusion, opening of the Spirit Gates to hit Yubel, Prosperity, Songen Summoning, That Grass for whatever reason, and Skill Drain, thank you.
Just
The branded one seems weird.
Why are you
It's
bringing
so
back
outplayed.
one of the most
It's,
annoying
Sanctifier's
cards
fault.
of all time?
Yeah, but like limiting branded diffusion doesn't do anything. Like it's an ass target.
I was gonna point that out. Branded Fusion, I had a feeling it was gonna come sooner or later because they've done it in the OCG and Master Duel, and given Konami's track record, they're always pulling this kind of shit.
Yeah.
But Branded hasn't really been doing much, even with 3 copies of Branded. You're like 2 years too late, man.
It's like you're a little late to banning one of the most prominent deck. It's
This-
like watch it 2 years from now, they finally hit the decks that we're having problems with today.
The semi-limits don't really matter, though. All 4 Dragon Rulers came back to 2, I hate you. Lunalight Tigers back to 2, I hate you. Thunder Dragon Colossus.
Wait, why? I'm happy about that.
Of course you are.
I feel like
Again,
it's
I will
the
state
only
that
way
the
to play
Dragon
the
rules could
game.
all come
Like,
back at
that
3, no erratum, and do nothing in the meta.
Like,
Oh wow, level 7 bodies for Kashtira and Tempai and literally no other deck's worth a damn.
I feel like the only part of the semi-limited list that had people furious was Colossus the 2.
Yeah, because it's
It
going
didn't do
the
anything at
opposite
1.
direction as it should be going.
And, of course, Ib World Chalice Justiciar. And
I don't.
Okay.
go ahead, Reborn.
I am not fond of Colossus. I still have the fond memory of Heat Leo beating the shit out of a Colossus.
Fair enough.
Because
I still have the fond memory of beating Colossus with a Fire King deck before the new support.
but I have very mixed feelings. On one hand, it's oh fuck, I gotta deal with Thunder Dragon decks. But at the same time, ABC laughs at Thunder Dragon because nothing ever actually hits your hand.
It really does.
Thunder Dragon Colossus is such a weird boss monster because there are some decks that can go over it, and there are others that just struggle with it because they hate that mistake-based effect. You cannot search at all, as well as the fact that, well, you know, a big body that can just not die once per turn is still pretty decent.
I actually took advantage of that because the dude was I said Heat Leo equipped with Claw. Heat Leo's gonna punch Colossus in the face 3 times.
And then it comes down to the unlimited list, which is 3 Armageddon Knight, Magispector Kirin, Perform Mage Plush Fire with errata, Red Rose Dragon, Ancient Fairy Dragon with errata, obviously, Danglong First Yang Zing, and Time Seal. Woo.
Okay, didn't we have Armageddon Knight back to 3 at one point, and then it got put back to 1 immediately?
No, it was at
Oh,
3
like
for the
weird
longest
stuff.
time, and it got limited because of the Isold engine.
But now that
I'm
Isolde
still-
is
And now that it's old, man.
gone,
I'm still honestly iffy because, you know, cautious and a better sense of future-proofing, but sure, I guess, Zold can't abuse it anymore for dumb loops and FTKs. At least at the moment, there's not a strategy.
At the moment, but give it time. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the next stuff.
week.
Okay, and apparently, according to Ananashi, his dark deck is having an identity crisis at the moment.
Yeah, and 3 Armageddon Knight does not help because it wants to put that grass back in and go back to its old 60 card variant. Speaking of which, did you ever sit down and watch my replay video I shared with you about that?
I did. I just forgot everything in it.
It
I'll
just
probably watch
dumped
it
a
again
bunch of
after the
shit doll
podcast.
and Phantom Knight cards and went ballistic on both players' turns.
Speaking of decks Nanashi has played or enjoyed, Nanashi, what the hell? These new fish cards are getting out of hand.
Hey, don't blame me. I'm not the...
Yeah, blame Nathos. He's the fish guy.
Yeah, clearly.
We got Drake Shark, and then we got fucking 7-colored Will Smith from Shark Tale. You want to explain this stuff?
I have no explanation.
Where Will Smith from? What did you do?
It
Shark
slaps.
Tale. He's literally Will Smith fish in that DreamWorks bomb of
Yeah,
a movie.
yeah. Shark Tale
except it
That's
wasn't
movie.
the
a
joke.
bomb. It was actually pretty successful at the box office.
Weird.
Say hello to the fish known as Will Smith. There you go.
Yeah, the resemblance is uncanny.
It really is. Now,
Speaking of crazy, that new Blue Eyes Xyz monster, eh?
I was going to cover that in a couple of minutes.
Oh,
I have a
no,
list.
we can still, we can still do that in a couple of minutes because there are some funny things about that.
Yeah. So upcoming products real quick. On Monday, we have the 25th Anniversary 10 Dueling Heroes, which has nothing to do with 25th Anniversary 10 Dueling Mirrors dropping 2 weeks later. Is it weird to anybody else that we have 2 10s coming out back-to-back?
A little bit.
What?
Actually,
Now
yeah.
releasing multiple products at once to maximize profits? Very surprising.
No, but here's the
Seen
thing:
that coming.
is the faster I get Dissipator, the better.
Fair enough. There's also the matter of the...
Sorry, a sort of track back to the Unlimited. I saw a lot of people fearful of Time Seal, and I'm like, what do you all think Time Seal does? It doesn't immediately skip the draw phase upon activation like you all think it does because Yugi cheated in that one duel. It reads skip your opponent's next draw, means they still draw this turn, but turn 4 draw phase is getting skipped.
Yeah.
I mean, with transaction rollback, it might be able to do that now.
Yeah, I mentioned
Yes,
that, actually.
transaction rollback when there are better traps to use it on.
No, it's nothing.
It doesn't really matter. But backtracking a little bit, I actually did forget to mention one thing. The Retro Pack is officially out in the game for the few people out there who might be interested in original style first generation cards. And let's see. We got a TCG exclusive announced for the Rage of the Abyss set, which is Mimighoul Charm, that continuous smell that can snipe an opponent's extra deck monster and either summon it to your board or banish it face down.
Because Mimighouls
It's a good one-off.
Enough.
Mm-hmm. And the
Mimighouls are looking funnier by the second.
They really are. I am genuinely considering building them as my Earth deck over Crawler. But I love Crawler so much, so I'm on the fence.
It's saying something where like a flip deck is like showing actual promise.
Mm-hmm. And the last thing on my list to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! News-wise is the new card for the Blue Eye Structure deck that you were mentioning earlier there, Connor.
I think it's the last card.
Yeah. Rank 8 Indigo Eyes Silver
No, I think it's
Dragon.
the second to last.
If there are any more, I'll be surprised.
Listen, all I gotta say is that this rank 8 is... I'm not even surprised they went with a rank 8 here, an archetypal rank 8 here, because every Blue Eyes list up to this point, whether good or bad, always had some kind of rank 8 package, because they had the options. Yep. Especially when Dark Matter was still legal and doing its funny shit.
And
you
now
know what I call the new Blue Eyes? I literally call him Dragon Kali Yuga.
It's not even Kali Yuga, it's Shark Drake. I mean, not Shark, it's Kite Drake, the Speedroid.
Yeah, people were calling it the new Kali Yuga, but the problem is this thing's effect activates to lock down the board. Kali Yuga's existence is what says no.
Yeah.
Show title.
But I find this funny because it gets bonus effect aside from the whole like mass Kite Drake based effect. You get bonuses if you use the vanilla. So I'm like, oh, you know what's another deck with a vanilla target that also has rank 8 options that I used to dabble in? Hieratics. Also, as Double Helix pointed out, yes, Hieratics, you make Atem Astral Force into this guy, and it's the funniest shit.
That'd be cool. That's actually cool.
Summon Atom, stack up.
Summon Atom, rank up Magic, Xyz Force, or whatever. Explain nothing later.
Astral the Atom.
Or if you want to be like, or if you want to actually summon it properly, just tribute 2 of the effect Hierarchic summon.
Summoning it normally is not hard in Hieratics because there are so many ways to proc off their tribute-based effects. It's really funny. And I think you're always just going to play the free balls at this point, the level 8 vanilla ones.
You have a third ball.
Or you could just like run any level 8 vanilla that you want.
Medical condition.
Well, that too. They have options, but as far as like level 8s go, I know the level 6 vanilla pool, they have a large one that just allows them to summon Zolkin and do a few other funny stuff.
Yep.
Level 8, it's like, you have the 2 funny raw sphere modes, but not raw sphere modes. I guess if you could, because I can't fucking remember its name. And then I believe there's another target that's like also pretty janky.
I know they like run like you said, they run like Zolkin, because like there's a level 6 vanilla tuner.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's Labradorite Dragon, I believe. It's a level 6 tuner.
Yeah. So I think there's like a level 8 vanilla tuner.
Dragon Core Hexer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dragon Core Hexer if you want to make Bishbalkin.
Yeah.
Yes.
You only
now
make
Blue Lines
Bishbalkin.
And
You
be
o-
a fallen Bish.
You only make Bishbalkin if you're playing reptiles.
Or if you want
I
to
mean,
do table
yeah.
500 FTKs. But you want to know what's the funniest build that I've like copied and somehow made work as far as hieretics go?
What?
Hungry Burger hieretics.
Interesting.
Because when you ritual summon, you tribute them, and then they proc off as you have a level 6 body on field.
Oh yeah.
And then you
funny.
have the ritual stuff to add a consistency boost. It's so janky,
why-
but it's so funny.
But why Hungry Burger specifically?
It's a ritual monster, and it's level 6, and when you ritual summon once again, you proc off the hieretics because you're tributing.
The fact of the matter is, and thank you for confirming that, Rom, Bishbalkin works well with reptiles if for no other reason than because of their plus 10 combo. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about when I say the plus 10 combo.
I'm afraid not, because I've only seen Bishbalkin ever get played in janky FTK decks, so I don't know this reptile jank you're speaking, sadly.
It's very
Right,
simple.
so you know how the the tokens that Bishbalkin spawns are reptile type, right?
Are they?
I didn't even know. I thought they were fiend type.
Well, it doesn't even matter what type they are. That's not the
I
important
actually never
part.
knew what their type was.
The important part is the fact that it gives your opponent 0 attack tokens. 1. You play Bishbalkin in an Ogdoadic blend that uses a couple of dragons, specifically for Dragon Core Hexer. 2. You use Bishbalkin's effect and generate tokens on both. Well, I'm getting to that. You put 5 tokens on both sides of the board by putting Bishbalkin in the extra monster zone. 3, you start linking around and land on Reptilian Echidna, who on summon searches 1 reptile to your hand for every 0 attack monster your opponent controls, which is 5.
What?
Mm-hmm.
And it gets better.
Oh.
Yeah, one of those
Wait,
monsters.
hold on. I think I'm seeing the. Do they make Hydra by chance to just draw 5 cards?
That's what I was leading up to. Once you're done with your searches, one of the cards you search is going to be the 2-star tuner, and then you sync into Reptilian Hydra, which pops all those tokens and searches 5 cards.
That's nuts.
5 cards?
Yeah, because Hydra, whenever you draw that many cards based on how many cards Hydra destroyed with its effect.
Yes, thank you for correcting me on that, Helix. It's not the on-summon effect that does that. It's the once-per-turn effect of Echidna that searches for every 0 attack monster the opponent controls. Thank you for correcting me on that.
Oh, so it might be.
Even then, on summon or ignition, that's pretty fucking janky and stupid, but also funny.
There's a reason I play it in my alien mix, and I never felt so validated.
Just go plus 10 for no reason.
5 searches, 5 draws. What can you not do?
Reptilians enter in the anime suck ass. Later on in the TCG, get busted support plus 10. No elaboration.
No elaboration needed.
And it's still not used.
Okay, well, the good news is that was the last of the Yu-Gi-Oh! News, because just like every other topic we've had tonight, there wasn't much to talk about.
I have something minor to talk about if you want.
Sure, go right ahead.
This, like I said, every month I was gonna give an update about a little bit update about Studio Trigger's franchise thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Gurren Lagann.
Yeah.
And so far, there's no updates on the SRW game because Gurren Lagann's supposed to be there unless they do something new.
Okay.
But the 35th anniversary of the SRW game's coming out soon. Addition, there's a lot of remakes of old franchise, and Gundam Seed Freedom came out not too long ago. If the 35th anniversary doesn't have Gurren Lagann and all of that thing is, it's probably going to be just a continuation of the OG game, but there's a high chance that Gurren Lagann will come back and Padam is still on. So yeah.
Well, fair enough. I appreciate you keeping an eye on that. I was really curious to see what was going to come of that.
I'll keep you updated if the game comes out next.
Now, truthfully, there isn't exactly much else to talk about. I saw the first episode of that new Kamen Rider series, Gov, the guy with the gummy candy armor. It was pretty good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Here's actually a thing I learned about Gav. Gav is default.
Sorry to interrupt. Before you all continue with the Tokusatsu speak, I do have to head off as well.
That's fine. Go right ahead, man. We appreciate you stopping by.
I'll see ya.
One thing I found out about Gav is like a big reason why Valen is coming earlier is that Gav is actually one of the weakest riders in Rider.
Oh, hold on.
His stats on the level of Kuga growing.
Hang on. Lone, what are you trying to say?
My pets are starting to act up outside. I better go see what's going on. Guess see you guys next time.
All right, then. We'll see you next time, man. All right. Now, I'm sorry to have interrupted. What were you saying?
Gav's Poppin' Gummy is actually one of the weakest rider forms, not only due to the brittle nature of his armor, he's actually weaker than Kuga growing.
That makes sense, and honestly, I'm kind of okay with it. I want to see him get stronger. But obviously, we've gone over this before, where Gilded was going to be our secondary place for when the Discord eventually shits itself. But I'm starting to use it as a video storage base, and I'm now sharing the videos themselves from Gilded onto Discord. I've actually uploaded the first episode of Gov to the Discord server if anybody is interested in looking it up. Now, since half of our group has already left, I think now's probably a good time to call a night on the show, unless anybody else has anything they want to talk about real quick.
I just want to go over. I just want to go over like Rush Duels real quick. First off, we have confirmation that Dark Matter Galaxy Dragon is going to be coming to Rush.
Oh damn!
A few other cards have been revealed, like a new Metarion support, Ancient Gears, and there's one more that the new Legend stuff, and the big thing, a new Banlist is going to be coming next week.
I'm actually hyped for Ancient Gears because because of joint tech, you will actually have a good way to search power, your one of power bond in the deck.
But like the thing is, in Rush Duels, there is no like way to like fuse the Ancient Gears, to my knowledge. Power bond is very much in the game, but there are no fusions compatible with the Ancient Gears.
Hopefully,
to my knowledge, to my knowledge, it's just Joint Tech Killer Stinger, the one Joint Tech fusion, and then the Cyber Dragon series of cards.
I am still jealous of Rush Duel getting all these amazing artworks and amazing lore pieces that we will probably never see in the TCG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless in Duel Links.
Yeah, maybe.
No. I don't count Duel Links because that's as much as it is like a modification of like actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush Duel is like a modification of they modified Rush Duel a bit in Duel Links. Well, not quite a lot compared to actual Yu-Gi-Oh, but just some minor changes. I still don't really like the skills all that much.
Yeah, October's gonna be. I was just reading over what Double Helix was saying. Yeah, looking forward to October, honestly.
I got one thing to talk about before we go.
What's up?
I just want to talk about a show that I've been watching recently. And that show is called 6 Feet Under. Basically, it's a sort of black comedy about a family of funeral workers. And if you want to know how ridiculously weird this series can get, the very first episode literally opens with the patriarch of the family dying in a hearse from being hit by a truck.
Okay.
And my mother's mixed on it, but I really like it. It's got the guy who plays Dexter in it as the gay one who has really over-imaginative imaginations. I think that's it for me.
Fair enough. Anyone else got anything else to share before we call it a night?
Nah, I got nothing.
Okay.
Also, Valen's actually going to break the record for the writer that's appearing the earliest.
What about Gates? He was in episode 1.
That's true.
Oh yeah, that's true. I don't think that any writer is gonna beat Gates' record.
I doubt it.
Oh wait, there's actually a knight from Ryuki who actually
yeah, he
appeared
was there
before
Ryuki, wasn't he? Yep, you got me there.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go ahead and call this a night. I think we all got things we got to do and places to be.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the show. We greatly appreciate everybody who stopped by, especially you, Double Helix. Thank you for tuning in to the whole show. Means a lot to me. We usually record these on the first Friday of every month, which means the next one will be on October 4th. So in the meantime, thank you again for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.